Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host and stroke survivor, Jerry Wall. I almost forgot that, but thank you for being here, and I appreciate it. So I want to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injury, and that's why I do this show and trying to help the brain community out. So today we are going to be diving into, I don't know if you remember, probably did, David and Amanda Cosel, and they developed this app with the help with Dr. Gary Cosel, and he's on the show today with David as well. So we'll be talking about Amelia, the app that helps with just say aphasia, some sort of communication skills. But we will be getting into that, and I'll be looking forward to that. So again, Dr. Gary Cosel, he's going to be introducing, telling about his background, retired right now, but he'll get into all that. And so ask questions, make comments, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel called Let's Talk Stroke, please do. Look forward to that. So ask questions and make comments again, and we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I told you I'd butcher it. I had a whole new introduction and didn't go that way. But anyway, nice to meet you, Doctor, and David. Nice to see you again. And I don't know if you could see the comments on the right side.
Yep, totally. Yeah, no, first, Jerry, thanks for having us back. Like, I think the show was so good last time. You had to bring us back for more.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy that you're back on here, and I do appreciate you guys coming on, commenting, and asking questions. And maybe we should introduce your dad, Dr. Gary Cosel. Right? Am I just butchering things up again?
Very good.
It's a pleasure. Jerry, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm 73 years old. I've been retired for over 7 years. And so getting involved with this podcast with my son and yourself this is a nice change of pace for myself. So
good.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us about your background and what you
just a little bit of my background here. Retired mental health professional, and have a doctorate in counseling psychology. I spent 42 years in clinical practice and training, specializing with folks who had various types of brain injuries, and worked in the areas of behavioral medicine, neuropsychology, cognitive rehab, and clinical psychology. So with a variety of different types of brain injuries, from motor vehicle accidents to combat veterans coming back with concussive injuries, and also stroke patients. So it's been nice to be able to just be a small part of my son's development of this wonderful Amelia app. And I'm really here to give professional credibility to this Amelia. It's wonderful what he has created.
Right.
I didn't say that, by the
way. It's a terrific app. I mean, I've used it. I'll give you my feedback later on, but it really is, to me, I thought is very good. Well, for me, who has a slight bit of aphasia, yes, I get caught up with the comments here because I love when you guys are here and making comments and asking questions. But yeah, it's great to see that you're here, have expertise in the brain, cognitive as well, and
the emotional factors that go along with dealing with a brain injury. I mean, that's very, very significant.
Right. Yeah, it definitely is.
Moment. It's a lifestyle change that one goes through, and we all have these watershed moments in different ways or shapes or forms. Of brain injury, strokes, they change your life, and it's about making lemonade out of lemons. Okay, right. We want to focus on how we can improve the quality of one's life and give people hope.
Yeah, and I think I said last time, if Amelia can be a small part of that and of that lemonade and give hope to people and encouragement and just give them that extra sense of joy, we've done our job correctly. So
yeah, giving them confidence that their brain and cognitive functioning, speech and language is improving and not frustrating them. That's the beauty of this Amelia app.
Yeah. We'll show the app, and you can show some of the things behind it, which is terrific because I struggle sometimes with if my wife and I go out to dinner like we did the other night and or lunch, and I don't know why I get nervous. Maybe you could answer that. Is I get nervous and I can't. I mean, I see what I'm going to order, but for some reason it doesn't come out like it just goes in a different direction. So my wife, this is what you'll have. She waits, and then she can see, oh, he's having trouble. So this app that you've developed, if you stick with it, I'm sure it's going to help better than not doing it at all. Any of the exercises.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this last time. It's not meant to replace speech therapy at all, right? It's meant to supplement it. So that's for, we talked about my mother-in-law. She was on the show last time.
Yes.
How she used it was kind of between therapy sessions on a random Wednesday night, sitting on the couch, and you just practice. And that's, over time, you keep building and building, and you look back, a year later, and you're going to be in a better place. Well, that's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
How did you develop it? I mean, if we rewind the clock, is it because of Lana, your mother-in-law?
Yeah. So we told the story last time, but I'll reshare. So in 2020, my mother-in-law had a very severe stroke. She almost didn't make it. They had to fight for life her to a hospital. Long story short, she ended up with global aphasia. And at the time, we had no idea. He had heard of aphasia because of this field, but I had no idea what aphasia was. So while this was going on, do you remember this?
Absolutely. I was talking to you about Broca's aphasia and Wernicke's aphasia and trying to help you understand the difference between expressive and receptive aphasia during that time. This was all new to him.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. And all I knew was that my mother-in-law had one word. I can't remember the word. I apologize if you're watching. Yeah. But she only had one word to speak. So she had global. She couldn't understand language, and she couldn't communicate it. And when we were in the ER, they were trying to assess where she was at and what the impact was. And they were giving her assessments like drawing images to words and stuff. And it was on paper. And I was like, why? We are in 2020. Why isn't this in an app or something? Give her an iPad. Like it could be more digital experience. Yes, I agree, Doug. Aphasia sucks. But yeah, and then further along in her experience or in her recovery, I noticed her using other apps out there, and they're very comprehensive apps. I will say that they're very comprehensive, but they're confusing. I thought personally, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to think they're very confusing as well. So the goal behind Amelia was to create a more simple user experience for someone who may not even understand anything that's on the screen, right? That's a very hard challenge for me. Like everything in the app is not too hard technically, but the hard part about it is to make it intuitive and understandable for someone who doesn't or may not understand what they're looking at. So that was the birth of Amelia, and we'll get into. I see some comments about what is the app for. I plan on going through the entire app and demoing every feature.
Yeah, and you'll see that this app is very functional, very practically relevant to everyday functioning. I like to tell a story about when I was doing fellowship training at Braintree Rehabilitation Hospital in Boston, a very prestigious place. That my job at the time was to go around and do neuropsychological mental status exams with folks who had just, acute phase or just early post-acute phase of their strokes. And I was asking them to count backwards from 100 by sevens and by threes and having them copy very intricate, designs and then from memory try to recreate it. And it was very, very frustrating. And so it was really important that this is not a neuropsychological type of evaluation or type of device, but it's designed to help people improve their speech and language functioning with very functional, practical, relevant material or tasks that aren't meant to frustrate the patient or the user.
Absolutely, because I know the frustration. I'm sure a lot of them out here know the frustration of, and it's funny you said that, doctor, counting backwards by sevens. Oh, I mean, and I keep asking, like my speech pathologist or someone says, or I say, why? I would never do that before. So why do I have to do it now?
Right.
But I know now, for the cognitive.
Sure.
Yeah. So Amelia is really more like patient centered. We were talking before we got on the show. It's meant to be the best possible experience for, not for a doctor or someone who's assessing, but for the user who has just had this traumatic experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready to share
I'm
some
ready.
of the.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see here.
All right. So yeah, so this is Amelia. This is the first, basically what you first see when you launch the app. So first and foremost, this is the Today tab. So at first glance, it looks kind of boring, but what it's doing here, it's curating tasks and all these games. I'll get into this tab later, but there's a bunch of games and game settings. There's over 2,000 different game configurations in this app. And what this Today tab does is basically curate these games into daily tasks. They refresh every single day. They're based off of speech and language area. So, like, for example, the first one is just some kind of random game that we just pop up there to get you started. And then there's, comprehension and listening. There's speech and communication. There's thinking and processing. So basically, receptive, expressive, and cognitive tasks. And they could be, 1 to 6 games. And they're really, the intent of this is to make it as easy as possible. You don't have to think about what you need to work on. These are just put in there. The app is basically spoon feeding games to you that you can just do every day. And you keep coming back and just keep building without having to think about what to work on. There's my mother. Hey, Lana. She's on the show. Good morning. The first task, we actually just added this after the show. This is a brand new task. The first task, I lied. It's before we begin, it's a breathing task. And you can talk a little bit more.
Yeah, let me just say this. What it's very clear is that when one is nervous, obviously it's more difficult with finding words to express yourself or to organize your thoughts. And so a lot of my career, was centered on helping one learn how to settle the nervous system down in such a way that it would create optimum performance or best performance possible. And so, one of the things that I felt would be relevant for this app would be to provide a very basic, simple, heart-centered breathing technique. It's a paced breathing technique in which one breathes very slowly at a pace of 6 breaths per minute, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, in which one breathes through their nose easily and feels it come into the heart and then exhales slowly. And this is designed, I guess, to balance the autonomic nervous system in such a way that one doesn't go to sleep, but is designed to help one find that balance so that they can be thinking more clearly and be settled in their nervous system.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do one.
Yeah.
Let's do a breathing test.
This is fun.
This is kind of a funny little guy, but it's basically meant to show you, like, someone may not be able to read this. So we want to sit down, right? And we want to show how you want to breathe in and breathe out, right? And then I'm going to select, you can set the total number of breaths between 2 and funny. I'm just for sake of demonstration, we'll just do a couple breaths and we can start.
So the idea is to watch this expand at a pace of 4 seconds in and hold, and 4 seconds out and hold. And it's, again, a very gentle paced breathing technique that is designed to improve heart rate variability, which is a technical term for settling the nervous system.
I got a hot streak. There's hot streaks in the app too. Encourages you to come back. Yeah, so that would be like the way to kick off your day. Like, I'm gonna get settled. I'm gonna do a little breathing exercise. Now let's get into the actual games.
So I want to say one more thing about this is if anybody has any concerns about this breathing technique, please be advised to speak with your rehab physician, your cardiologist, neurologist, your physiatrist, or primary care physician. But in all of the research and experience I have done in the field, there has never been a difficulty or a contraindication for using this very basic paced breathing technique.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay, so I'm going to pretend to be an actual Amelia user, right? So I feel calm. I took my 2 breaths. I'm ready to get started. Let's do the first task. It's a remember game. This is more of a cognitive game. This is a medium difficulty. This is actually relatively hard, right? So you basically have to remember these cards. And then it'll ask you, when you press the play button, it'll ask you where one is. This is a numbers category. And when you do this in like an Explorer, when it's not a task, you can set whatever category you want. This task is specifically a medium difficulty with using numbers. So let's just do it real quick. So we got 50, 30, 70, 19. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can.
This is a tough one.
50. Okay, I think I can get it. It's the top left.
And you get the immediate feedback.
All right, cool. So I got another task and I get some immediate feed. Like, this is a thing I want to be encouraged. The app should be encouraging. You get confetti, right? It's not meant to be like tacky or, it's just supposed to be encouraging to people. They're doing a great job. Regardless if you get it right or wrong, you're going to get that confetti, by the way.
Okay.
So you can do, so we've done a couple tasks. I won't go through. I want to get into more into the individual game level, but basically you get the idea. Like, you do these tasks. There's 1 to 6 games in them, and you complete your daily tasks, and they refresh tomorrow, kind of thing. So I get. Is there any questions we missed?
Let's see here. There, Musong here. I put it on the screen.
Mission. Yeah, so that remember game, that was one of the cognitive tasks. I'll get into more.
And that's more on the difficult side on this app. So I guess you want to go down to the bottom, David, and show the Today Explorer.
Yeah. So that was on the, if you notice, so I'm switching tabs. See that blue ball at the bottom? I'm switching tabs. So that was the Today tab that I was on.
I think they can see that on the screen.
They can.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tap the magnifying glass, basically the Explore. So now I'm on the Explore tab, and this is kind of like, now you kind of have, it's not as spoon-fed to the user. You have to go in and kind of figure out what games you want to play based off of where you're at. But it gives you a lot of flexibility to choose and configure your app to how you want to experience it. So I guess we can just start. Let's do the choose. The choose game is like the first game I put in Amelia. So this is a relatively simple, one of the more simple games. And it's really, you're matching a word to an image or an image to a word. So in this case, I have to find kiwi.
So you press
on. I'm going to tap kiwi, and it's going to say that I got that right? And we keep going through. And there's game settings. Each one of these games has its own set of configurations, right? So right now I'm obviously on the food category, but we can just shuffle. I'll just shuffle through all of the categories if I want to. And there's a bunch of them, right? I would encourage everybody to kind of go through and play with it. You can do the number of cards. So right now it's 4, but let's say I just want to we'll do 6 cards. And instead of images, I'm going to make the top part, we'll do it words. So you're going to have to match up the words to the image below. So you can configure this however you want. You can make it as easy or as hard as you want to, kind of, in this game.
Mm-hmm. Once you show them where you go to do that configuration, David, at the top left.
Yeah, so that's, if you didn't see it, there's a gear icon at the top of every single game. It's that top left button, and you get these settings is how you would get to that.
And you can set the difficulty level. So set it for easy. Give people an example of, if you're really concerned and don't want to get frustrated, set it at easy.
Yeah, so easy is more, in this context, easy is the length of the words right now. So very easy, but you could go in and do just two cards. And you might want to do images.
Okay.
Right. So fox. That's a more simple version.
And you touch screen.
Yep.
Yep.
If you get stuck in any part of these games, you tap the question mark at the bottom.
Look at the bottom left.
And I don't know if you can hear that, but it's speaking it as well. There's text to speech. And then also there's hints. So there's light bulb button at the bottom of every game. I call them hints. They could be called cues. But yeah, so you could do like a 50-50. In this case, 50-50, it really eliminates all but one of them, right? But if you had 6 cards there, it would eliminate 3 of them. Things like that to help you get the right answer.
Well, I think that's important. Show a little bit more about some of the cues. So rhymes with, you're going to hear a voice that expresses socks, rhymes with socks, okay? Well, because it's a fox. Or you're actually given the answer if you cannot figure it out. The voice will come on and reveal to you what the answer is. So again, designed so that you don't get overly frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one game. Let's do. I'm
Let's
gonna
connect.
I'm gonna go through in the order in which I added these games. So the next game I added was Connect. Kind of similar, but this was actually one of the tasks that I mentioned I saw my mother-in-law doing in the emergency room. But it was a piece of paper. So now,
take your finger and just connect the word to the photo.
Yeah. So, it's kind of fun. I mean, I play it all the time.
Yeah, it's just not aphasia. I mean,
it also requires you to use motor functions here, fine motor with your finger. Again, receptive and expressive language skills that are practical.
And then you can go up.
Ooh,
this gets a little harder.
This is
right in this context of this game, at least.
You have a question. It looks like a lot of fun. Can you show us the hard level game?
Oh, that looks like a hard level.
It's the hard is kind of based off of the game, right? So I would argue that some of these game types are easier than others, and I'll get into more of the harder or more challenging games. But within this Connect game, this is one of the easier games, but this is a hard version of this game, harder version of this game.
Because it's got more items to connect, and it's for all types of categories.
Or even like, I'm even having my 5-year-old daughter do this. This is like right now she's learning how to, I got this idea from her teacher at school, actually. They're learning how to connect the actual numbers to the words. And I was like, well, shoot, I should put this in the app. So that's what this is basically. So yeah, depending on the category, the difficulty level could also be altered as well. So that's Connect. Speak. This one gets a little hard. So I'm going to do it on, we'll do Shuffle All again.
But put it on a medium or easy.
Yeah, we'll do easy. Okay, easy. There's a dog. So all you got to do is press and hold the microphone button. Dog. And it just does simple speech recognition. The cues or the hints in this one is a little bit more in depth. So you can get the starting sound. So like this was wolf, it would be like wolf, wolf. Or you could get the first letter. Or you could get I don't know if you saw me do that. This is the letter count. So all these cues to kind of guide you as to what the answer is. So I'll do this one. Wolf. There's also a camera. So if you want to watch this, so this is not meant for, is it apraxia?
No, it's dysarthria.
So it's not meant for like speech. Like it is a speech app, but it's not meant for you to rehabilitate how to move your mouth, right? But if you want to watch yourself talk based off of what your therapist has guided you in, this kind of helps you watch yourself speak to kind of help you put your mouth in the right positions based off of a therapist that has guided you.
David, can you move that?
Yeah, and you can move this around. You can make it smaller, move it wherever you want. If you want to get rid of it, you just tap the X button. It moves out of the way.
Yeah, show more of the cues. I think it rhymes with. Oh, I guess this one doesn't have rhymes with.
So we'll do fish.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear that. Rhymes with wish. So that's the speak game. I'm trying to be cognizant of time. Write was the next one. This is a little, my handwriting isn't that great, but this helps with handwriting. So we'll do, this is salt. So I'm going to try to. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's not speech recognition, it's handwriting recognition.
So do a mistake so that the users can see what happens if you make a mistake.
There you go. Yeah. So
try again.
I think I said this last time, Jerry, but you'll never see like wrong. You suck. You'll never see that, right? It's just, that's okay. Don't give up, right?
Yeah.
And a little heart with a retry button to try to encourage people to try again.
Because it is frustrating with someone that has aphasia. They get frustrated. So it's nice that you put that on there that it doesn't.
And that's basically that. By the way, that's my wife's idea. She's a lot nicer than me. So all the encouraging stuff in the app, that's usually from her.
Can you use it on Android as well, or
not at this point?
Okay.
I want to first see how well accepted it is in the iOS world, and then hopefully we can get to an Android version soon.
Well, so could it be used on an iPhone? I have an iPhone 11, and we've worked out the bugs on that. But even better is if you have an iPad.
Yeah, it's designed for iPad too. So like that writing game, for example, you can expand each game to full screen. You get a lot more real estate to draw and write whatever you do.
How about directions?
Directions. This is a harder one. So this is kind of like before and after tasks. This can get. I'm going to put it on hard.
Oh my gosh.
So this is like three. This is three things. So drag wind into the bottom middle square, then drag the penguin directly on top of wind, then drag the teacher to the right of the penguin. Right. This is. I would argue that's actually even easier. There's before and after. So drag wind directly on top of corn after you drag the corn into the top right square. So you have to think about order.
Sequence.
It's hard for me sometimes to do this. So I'm going to drag the wind directly on top of the, after you drag the corn to the top right square, boom. And then drag the wind directly on top, drag it on top, then drag orange below the wind. Yay, I got it right.
Very good.
Wow, you're doing good.
Thank you. So it involves organizing, sequencing, but it's, again, not designed to frustrate you, because if you don't get it right the first time, it'll come back and say, try again. It may give you a cue as to, how best to do this.
Yep. There's also more cognitive type games, simple numbers and counting and math. So this is an easy addition. 6 + 4 is 10. I can make it harder if I want to. This is just larger problems. We can change the type of problem, so we can do subtraction or
great job.
Multiplication. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can also do money too. So we'll do like an easy money is usually the same type. So you won't see like dollar bills and coins mixed in an easy version of money. It's just bills. So this is actually kind of hard to see on an iPhone. I'm not gonna lie. This is a better experience on an iPad when it's bigger. But there's two $5 bills, so I'm just gonna do $10 there. And you can kind of see how you can practice counting in this.
Don't forget to put the 0 in there. Oh,
I
okay.
didn't do that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's do some more. Build. This is building sentences and words. So we'll do easier. Okay, so it kind of is what it looks like. We're building a word based off of letters. So this is tape. So you can tap or drag the individual letters. I can put it anywhere. And it builds the word for spelling purposes.
See how functional and practical this is?
Very.
Yeah, not designed to frustrate you, but it's relevant to everyday life.
Yep. And then we'll do it's called missing word.
Yeah.
But this is sentence building based off, so not letters, but now we have words that we're putting in here. So the wind blank the trees. It's not, the wind didn't walk the trees, the wind blew the trees, right? And then this can, you can work on different parts of speech. So right now that was a verb, but if I want to work on a noun, for example, there's hibernate in the winter, right? Or she didn't report the music, she reported the news. And then this is probably the hardest one in this game, the sentence building. It really doesn't give you a lot. It just gives you words that you have to put in the correct order. So monkeys eat bananas. And you can make this harder. So harder is like there's more words in the sentence in this type of context. Yeah, that's the build game. Did you have anything?
No,
for that one?
I think that, again, you can set the what would you call it? You set the levels or the cues or the
Yep.
so that it can.
Yeah, let's do a remember game. We'll get memory recall. I'm gonna set it. It's called color sequence. If you are an 80s child like me, Simon, Simon was pretty popular back then, right? This is Simon basically in the app. So this is an easy version. So it only asks you for 2. A hard would be 6 colors in a row. So and it gives you sounds.
Yeah, we can hear them.
Oh, you can. Good.
Yeah.
And then you'd push on those and then.
Yep.
So it's a memory game, but with sounds.
Yep. And then we already did the memory cards was the task we did originally, where it flipped the cards. Memory recall, this is a new one. This was actually his brainchild. Well, basically it gives you words or pictures that you have to remember, and then it flips them over completely, and you have to speak them back in any order. So we'll just do this. So jump rope and bowl.
Jump rope, bowl.
It speaks to me. So I get that. And then it asks me to speak it back. It's basically that speech recognition game, but in a memory task.
Right.
So jump rope, bowl. Yes, I'm doing good today. Right.
Yeah,
and then
you are.
in this context, hard would be 4.
Ooh.
Or you can do pretty common version of this would be numbers. So repeat back 7, 16, 6, 40. And again, it's in any order. I could do 46, 16, 7 if I want to. That would still count it as correct. Yeah, so that's the remember game. And then this is cool stuff. Okay, so AI.
Yeah.
AI is obvious. Unless you're living under a rock, you know what AI is. And I think, especially in an app like this, we can really leverage AI for good. I think AI could potentially be leveraged for bad in a lot of cases, but I want to harness the power of it to help people. So that was the heart of this. So there's 4 games that use AI. One of them, I think the coolest one is this read game. So it's basically a reading comprehension.
There is one big red apple on the the table. It looks very yummy and shiny.
Okay, so basically, I'm basically going to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, based off of this difficulty level, I want you to give me a paragraph, like 1 to 3 sentences long, and then give me a question about that paragraph that you just created, and then give me 4 possible answers. So all of this is completely dynamic content, AI generated. You probably
Right.
won't see the same paragraph twice in this game. So there's what was the set? There is one big red apple on the table. It looks very yummy and shiny. What color is the apple?
What, you want to
That's
press the Q button to show them what would happen if you.
The number 8 is special. It looks like a
Yep.
snowman
So
with 2 big circles.
yeah, this gives more cues, so I can do 50-50 like I did in the other games. We could do oh, I gotta fix that. That's a little bit of a bug.
Okay.
But it'll give you. This is the grade of a live demo. But it'll give you a picture as a cue because there's no pictures on this, but it might help you choose the right answer. And then if you need the answer, it repeats the answer to you in audio. So that's the reading game. What did we miss here?
How about a draw?
Draw is hard.
Ooh.
Is it?
This is like Pictionary. You guys play Pictionary? Maybe we have some artists out there listening. Maybe this will be easy to them, but I'm not an artist at all. This is hard. So
Yes. Doing this,
I
especially.
try to embarrass myself here and draw a cat.
That's so good. I see now. With you don't have a dominant hand anymore since you had a stroke, and you're going to try to do it with your other hand. This is going to be a good little task.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay.
It thought it was a cat. All right, so we're good. So this is an easy. So easy. I believe what I'm doing in the background. I'm sending that image off to AI,
Right.
and I'm saying, hey, does this drawing look like something? And it's at a grade level. So I think easy is like a first grade level. Does it look like something that a first grader drew? So I think it's a first grade level drawing. But I think the hard is almost like into I think it's 7th grade drawing level. I can usually not get hard correct. It's very difficult.
Right. And I'm getting a lot of behind the scene kind of not comments, but well, kind of. They're asking, can you maybe just draw it out there? What exactly? And I know Amelia. That's the app. They're asking what the app is called.
OMILIA.
Yeah. And are there going to be links in the description of the show, Jerry?
There it is. Yes. We'll put the link. Let's see. I can.
Yeah, I have some stickers. So the app icon looks like that. So if you go to the store, you can search for it. It kind of gets buried in the store, not gonna lie, but you can search for aphasia, you can search for Amelia, and if you see an app look kind of like that, that's what it is.
OMILIA in the Apple App Store for now.
Yep.
Yeah. Should we talk about affordability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the app is AI does cost money, right? And there is a subscription thing behind this, but a lot of it's free. Like, so you can use the daily tasks. You can complete 2 daily tasks every day for free as long as you want. You don't have to pay anything. You complete up to 10 games a day for free. So I mean, you can use this app theoretically for free. If you want to do it unlimited, though, it's $8.99 a month. So that's basically like 30 cents a day, right? Compared to, and I don't want to come across as a salesman. This is not what that is at all. I apologize if I come across salesy, but compared to other apps out there, this is a very affordable solution from what I've seen. Like there's apps out there that basically charge you to even download the app. And then they come in packs or bundles, right? So this pack might be $29 and this pack might be $39. And then when you put all those packs together, it's like, holy crap, I just spent $300 on this app.
Or an app that might cost you $250 to download.
Oh, okay, getting a call.
Yeah.
So the goal of this app, first and foremost, it's to help people and give them hope. I want to do it in a very affordable fashion. And I believe, 30 cents a day, I personally, I think that's pretty affordable.
Absolutely. I mean, you've put 5 years of time into this, and there are costs behind app development. So hopefully, people can see beyond the small amount of monthly or a yearly charge, and be able to download this and use it again between speech therapy apps, or even for years post stroke, just to keep the brain active.
Yep. We didn't get into this. This is kind of like it's your profile, right?
Yeah, show the stats.
So if you really want to get into the details, or maybe a caregiver, or maybe a therapist, we didn't talk about the therapist. This might be another show, Jerry.
Yeah.
The therapist app, right? But if the therapist you're working with doesn't have that app, or if you have a caregiver or someone really wants to get into how they're progressing, you can see that it's in the stats, and you can get as kind of detailed as you want to, right? So I'm showing, this is the lifetime. I just reset it for the purpose of this show, but each one of these bars is basically a day that I use the app. So on April 16th, I came in here. My accuracy was 91%. I did 22 games, and my average time to complete was 5 seconds per game. But that's for all games. I can filter it down to, I didn't do any, hold on. This might be the test data. But yeah, you should be able to filter down to see, like, let's say for the remember game, if I only care about how am I doing on that specific game, you can filter it down to that. You can filter it down to the type of category. Let's say I'm really struggling with numbers. Let's see how well I'm doing with numbers. Like all the other categories, I'm awesome at, but I'm kind of sucking at numbers. Let's see how well I'm doing over the last week with that. And you can do a specific a specific range of time to see how you're doing. And not to get into the therapist app, but if you do have a therapist and they're using that therapist component, they can also see this progress too, to help guide them in setting up your recovery and your configuration.
What we didn't talk also about, David, was the assessment or reassessment aspect of this app, that it's not designed to diagnose, but it's designed to see where your strengths and weaknesses are. And that would be on that Today.
Well, so there's an assessment too. We didn't talk about that either. So on the Today, there's an assessment. If you haven't done it, I've done it before, so it's at the bottom for me. But if you haven't done it, this will be promoted to the top. And it walks through basically 50 of these games in varying difficulties, in varying categories, and it attempts to get a baseline of where you're at any point in time. And so, like, you can see I've done this assessment, so I can see my summary here. And it tries to summarize for you where your strengths are, where your areas of improvement are, give you some recommended games. And it's based off of speech area, receptive, expressive, or cognitive.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome how it'll recognize you have expressive or you have some kind of, that alone, that'd be interesting to see how.
And David, your initial screen with tasks, isn't that as a result of a result of the assessment part, then creates the type of games that are recommended?
So you notice I did pretty well in my assessment. So I'm not getting any easy tasks. What did you say, Jerry? Sorry.
Interesting. You said you did well. I said, this is amazing that it recognizes, like you said, after using it for a while, it'll see where you are, and
it'll provide tasks that are designed to meet the needs of what you need to work on.
That's perfect.
Not give you tasks that are overly too hard or overly too easy. So it's a paced approach, very well designed.
Absolutely.
From a professional standpoint, again, it's got the assessment aspect, it's got the recommended types of games, it's got difficulty levels. I can't think of an app that could create any more choices of how to set it up in a very easy designed approach that can help one with their speech and language remediation.
That was the goal, easy and simplicity.
Right.
Yeah.
And therapists, there's something in this app for therapists.
There is, yeah. And maybe we don't have all the time to go through because there's a lot of features here. But so this is the therapist app. I don't know if you saw. So the therapist app is green with a white leaf. The patient app is a white background with a green. So it's the inverse.
Right.
But you can basically connect to your speech and language pathologist. So this is me in my therapist. I'll pretend to be a speech and language pathologist right now. I can see I only have one active patient, but in theory, they have many active patients. And you can dive into each one of your patients and you can see that same stats view that I just showed. You can see the progress. Most importantly, you can assign homework or tasks between sessions. So you can see here, like I have recent assignments that my patient James has completed. James was the guy that I was in as the patient app. But if I want to go in here and just create a new assignment for James, the baseline evaluation is one of those assessments that I was just talking about. So you can assign one of those assessments as a therapist. You can do a suggested assignment. So that's basically taking the results, what it knows about that patient, and creating a custom assignment. How big is the dev team? It's just me, man. It's just me. Yeah, I've been solo deving this. It's been a long. I appreciate you saying that because it's a lot of work. But yeah, you can create. So let me just create an assignment real quick, just for a quick demo. So this is a blank assignment. We'll just do a quick choose game. Oops.
And this is the therapist setting up a homework assignment.
Yeah, this is a homework assignment. You can if the therapist doesn't know what a choose game is, they could tap that preview game. It launches the Amelia patient app. They can see exactly what they're assigning to their patient. And yeah, I'll just assign a one game task. So you can see I have a new one. It doesn't have a check mark. That's that new task I just created for James. If I go into my patient app now, I'm logged in as James. This is James as the patient app. If you can see at the bottom, there's that little red dot on the Today tab.
Yeah,
that's kind of like you got something there. You need to look. So I'm going to tap it, and I've got homework. Right. So I've got a homework assignment that's assigned from David Cosel, my therapist. I'm going to tap that. We're going to complete it. It's just like a daily task. Right. And then I'm going to go back into my therapist app. And I can see, I got something here. They completed this assignment, and I can see a very detailed report of how that assignment went.
Pretty amazing.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, so the key behind this, I could have launched this months ago. I didn't because I wanted to make sure it was secure. Their HIPAA compliance was a top of mind consideration here.
Right.
So, there's access controls to make sure therapists are only accessing patient data that the patient has approved to be their therapist.
Right.
So there's a two-way acceptance. So a therapist can invite a patient, but you're not going to see that patient's data yet. That patient has to approve you as their therapist.
Yeah.
And
never thought about the HIPAA issues.
Oh, absolutely. As a professional doing this for 42 years, that is essential.
Oh, yeah.
That we know that there's HIPAA compliance and that there are no legal issues that are
right.
Yeah. So was there any more questions that came up?
I think when you talk, we can do a whole nother session on the therapist app because it's important. I think the focus of this podcast was really to get into how to navigate the patient app so
Right.
that it isn't overwhelming to a user to use. And that's, I think, the main piece of what we wanted to accomplish today.
One more. I want to show off one more feature in the patient app. There's a concept of flashcards, and you can have custom content. So talk about making it relevant to you and making it more functional for your life. You can add, and this has you can
take a picture of my face.
You don't want to see my desk. Yeah, so let's do.
This is great.
A smile. All right, so let's do. We'll just do, or I don't know. We'll do father.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it in home. Part of the home category.
Okay.
Right.
Oh.
We'll continue. How can you use father in a sentence? You don't have to create a card with a sentence. It's optional, but if you do, it would be added to like the game I showed off with Build, so you would see it in like a sentence completion game.
Right.
So
How else could you use it?
My father. And I'll create that card.
I'm really proud of him.
Oh, you should be. This is just an amazing, and to have a father in the industry. This has got to be a great.
He is senior engineer IT specialist, and it is foreign language to me. Okay, just as much as this cognitive neuropsychology stuff has been foreign to him for all of our lives. Okay,
right. And it is amazing because a lot of people. I don't know who was here last time, and I see a lot of new people, and I appreciate you guys being in here. But who is David? How'd you got in? People probably want to know. I mean, you were.
Yeah. What's your background?
Yeah. Who are you?
We need another show.
Yeah. I mean, what time? Yeah.
I'm a senior iOS engineer. I've been developing apps for about a decade, since 2016. I kind of got the bug to do this. I was working in tech prior to that as kind of like a requirements guy, feeding developers like myself requirements on what to build.
Right.
And I got sick of like just talking about what we want to build. I wanted to actually do it. So I taught myself. I'm all self-taught.
It's incredible.
Thank you. I
mean,
you can
be really proud.
You can do anything I'm telling you, you can do anything on YouTube.
I mean, let's face it,
you can learn anything.
What was it back in 2009 that you had developed a program that actually won a $10,000 award through University of Colorado? Competition.
I've always had the bug for like entrepreneurship.
Right.
So I was a golf, and I think I told you this in the last show. I was a golfer in college, and I had an idea for a golf app, which was pretty good at the time. No one was doing anything like it at the time. And I put a whole business plan together, and I placed second in a national business plan competition, and got at the time it was a lot of money coming out of college. $10,000 for a college, a lot of money.
Which you put into you paid a developer to try to develop it for you, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. But but I'm a proud papa here. This guy,
Yeah, you are somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's very smart. Like where do I get it from?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Smart.
Well, you saw my work habits as a child growing up. And, I did some sports psychology for a while with golfers. And since he loved the game so much, I could apply some of my knowledge of performance enhancement to improve his game. And he ends up getting a college scholarship to go play for University of Kansas.
Yeah. Oh, not to totally change this subject. I was flying back from in Palm Springs, California, flying back. And I took a wheelchair because the airport we went to was so long. We're running late. So my wife says, okay, let's just get in a wheelchair. I'm going to walk a little slower. And who's right next to me, which I didn't know, and I still can't remember his name. He was the basketball coach for Kansas there. and everybody coming up to him.
Self was there?
Bill Self.
Yeah, and he was yeah. So I was sitting next to him. They pushed him in a wheelchair. We sat right next to each other. We're talking, and everybody's coming up to him. And when you just mentioned Kansas there, I thought, wow, and I don't know, I can't remember his name. That was and I should have got a picture with him and all that, because he was somebody like you both.
Well, I mean, those guys are superstars. When I was on campus there, I would have some classes with some of the basketball players, and there would be a line of students waiting outside of the class, waiting for the autographs.
Wow, because he's retired now, but still.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the KU basketball is at a whole different level when you're out there.
Yeah.
And I would come out, I'm like, hey, I'm a golfer. Do you want my autograph?
It's me. But yeah, I appreciate you both being on, but we definitely have to do it again. Go to the, like you said, Dr. Gary is the therapist. Yeah. Do that.
So, professionals in the field who are actually working with stroke patients or brain injured patients can know how to use this app and navigate through it, and benefit by not only assigning the homework assignments, but by getting the statistics or so they have data to actually show insurance companies the improvement that their patients are making by using this app, or how their performance does as a speech therapist and a hospital setting.
Yeah,
so
that's a great avenue to go down. I mean, insurance companies,
absolutely.
Yeah.
One has to show improvements.
Yeah.
So
we got to get the word out. Like, I've seen a lot of great. Thank you for all the nice comments that I'm seeing. Like, please tell. I can't tell you how many people I talk to. They say they love that, but they never heard of it. Please tell people about that. This exists to help others.
Omilia, Omilia. Yeah.
That's it right here, and that's right there on the screen, isn't it?
Omilia, yeah. Well, it's with it. You can type it in with just a regular I.
Yeah.
I'll tick.
Yeah.
Omilia is Greek for speech. For speech, yes.
Wow.
That's why it's kind of like going back to the roots of speaking.
And download it for free.
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll chat off we'll end this show, and then I appreciate everything, but you will stay on. But I appreciate everybody being here, making comments, and people that share this stream or this show. Anybody out there, because I do see it adding up from the when we did our show last time. I mean, I see people watching, rewatching, replaying it, because I get notices all the time about that. So
good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Any last words for now?
Oh man, just God bless you. I know this is for a lot of people, like you said, it's a watershed moment. This is again, I've never had aphasia. I can't pretend to be in your shoes, but I've been around people who have had this hard experience, and I just want to say, God bless you. Let's get some healing. Let's get some hope. Like, use this app. I hope it benefits you. That's the heart behind it. I hope it benefits you and helps you in your recovery. That's the heart behind Omilia.
Yeah.
Harry, thanks for having me on. I've appreciated meeting you and providing input on, again, the professional credibility of what my son has put together here.
It is. And like you mentioned, is your mother-in-law, Lana Smith, was on the show. I'm thinking it's probably 4 years ago or so, somewhere around there. But when she was on, we talked. Her improvement is amazing from when I first met her and she on the show. So it's working. I mean, I've seen the improvements.
Well, I mean, I can't take all the credit, right? She's put a lot of work in herself, and all the therapy sessions she's been to. Like, I hope it has helped a little bit. But yeah, she's made tremendous progress. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's inspiring.
absolutely.
And you, I mean, it's incredible that you are talking the way you are and hosting this podcast. It's inspirational to be on here and talking to you as well.
I appreciate that, because if you could have seen me when I first I thought I was speaking perfectly. My daughter said, you make no sense. I mean, not
Word
me.
salad.
She just, we talked, years later, and she says, Dad, you really thought you were talking perfectly. And
Yeah.
so it's good to hear these stories of improvements from a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but you guys have a great rest of your day, everyone out here, and we'll see you. What today's Thursday, so we'll see you on Tuesday next week. So take